A lot of people asked me about Jutte after I posted my video. I didn't know that many people were interested, but they were all asking like just technical questions. So I made this up. I have horrible handwriting in Japanese, as I've said many times, but I'll just give a basic introduction. So this is my Jutte right here. This is my Paul Chen Hanwei one with my modified ska and all that stuff. Go over the basic parts. Right here, this little hook. This one is heart shaped, but it can be a variety of different shapes. It could be round. This is called the kan. That's the kanji for it right there. Usually there's a tassel attached. The tassel is called the himo, and depending on the color, the way it's tied, things like that, it denotes various different ranks. And also the color varied with the region, sometimes the season, the division that the officer was in, things like that. Oh, well, actually, I should even, before I even started about that, Jutte, the history of Jutte is weird. Some people think that it evolved from Hachiwari, which is this. This is a Hachiwari or a Kabutowari. It was a weapon used on the battlefield to parry swords. It was held in the left hand while the other sword was used in the right. It's called Hachiwari or Kabutowari, which means to break the helmet or to break the skull. You could break someone's skull with it, but it's not going to break a Japanese helmet or kabuto. But what it could do is you use this piece right here like a can opener and hook it underneath the shikoro, which is the neck piece, the neck guard on the kabuto, and you twist with pressure and you could snap the neck that way. Or you could just, once people are down, just smash them. It's not really that sharp, but if you get underneath the gaps in the armor, you could do some damage. Or once again, underneath, this time on the front side where the minpo is, underneath that, stick it up and you could get it into the skin underneath the neck. That'll do some damage. Or just smashing people's hands, knocking stuff away. So that's what some people say is the origin. Another origin could be called the hananeji, which means the nose spiral or the nose twist. It was a tool for basically when they had the horses set up at camp. It's a piece of wood with string tied through, and they would put it into the horse's nose and twist it so that they could hold the horse in place. But something that's similar to that would be the naishi, and naishi means to paralyze or to make immobile, and that was pretty much the same thing as a jitte, except it didn't have this hook. So that's probably the most logical origin, just adding a hook to a simple metal bar, because the naishi also had the kan right here at the end, and it also had the himo. And then some people say like the maruhoshi, which was invented by Masamune. Well, actually Masamune also invented the kabutowari, but some people say that that's the origin of a jitte, which is a lot more complex than a jitte. It's made up of a series of moving parts that are held in place by a pin. I don't have a picture on hand right now. Oh, actually I do. This is from this is Edemiru Jidai by Nawa Sensei. Right up at the top there, that's a maruhoshi. So as you can see, it's a lot more advanced than a jitte. It has the yari type blade here, and also projecting at different angles. That's the pin right there. It goes right through. So they say that this is a precursor to a jitte, but I don't think so. I think the most plausible would be the naishi. Back onto the initial lessons over here. So as I was saying, jitte was a weapon that was used by doshin, which are Japanese police, okapiki, things like that. They would basically hold them up when they were arresting criminals and shout goyo, which basically is a official business, and then that's how they would begin the arresting process. So Basically, it would be similar to a modern like billy club or baton, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, starting at the end here, as we discussed before, this is the kan. This is where the himo is attached. Right here, this is ska, which means handle, of course, as we all know. Moving forward, kagi, tachimogi no kagi, sword catching hook. So some of them could have one. I've seen ones that have up to three. Sometimes they have two, similar to a sai. There's a million different designs for Jutte. Mostly, you were issued a plain one, but then if you had enough money, you could get yourself any type that you want. I've seen them with gold inlay, I've seen silver, I've seen wrapped same. As I said, I've seen the 3 hooked ones all over the place. Just amazing work. Right here, this doesn't apply to this particular Jutte, but this says kikuza, which means the chrysanthemum seat. The kagi of Jutte could sometimes be like fit in like a keyhole. I think there should be some in this book. Let's see. There's a variety of tying methods anyway. That's holding the Jutte in your kimono. More tying methods. Let's see. Oh, that's perfect actually right there. That's Nayashi. You can see there's a few different types, variations on the metal. Let's see. I guess you could kind of make it out there. No, there's better pictures in here. More variations. Oh, perfect, right here. You can see that how this kagi slides through. And there's a Jutte with 2 tachimogi no kagi. And close-ups actually. Very interesting stuff. This is an amazing book. There, 2 tachimogi no kagi. Tachimogi no kagi at 90 degrees from the initial tachimogi no kagi. So this is just really interesting. But anyway, back to this. So that's the kikuza. Of course, on my other one, as I said, you could have the suba right here. Right here, this is the boshin, the shaft. Basically stick and long. And then the very tip is called the sentan. Usually Jutte are not sharp. I used to have one. I sold it already actually, though. It was an antique Jutte. This unscrewed and there was a hidden dagger inside the boshin. And that would be called a shikomi Jutte, which means prepared Jutte. So there's a few interesting variations on things like that. Like if there's interest, I'll try and get some from Japan, put them on the site, some special ones that might be pretty expensive, but we'll have some awesome stuff. And I'll try and find more copies of this book, because this book is excellent. I have the one on ninjutsu and firearms, and I also have this one. There's a 3rd edition, I think, on spear. Actually, I think there's a lot more. There's spears, I think there's katana, all sorts of stuff, but that's just an introduction to the weapon for the people who wanted to know. So hopefully that answers whatever questions you have. Oh, I have 52 seconds left to actually talk about the other things that I was going to mention, like the various names of the Jutte. So you could say Jutte, like I wrote 10 hands, you could say Jutte with different kanji meaning, technique hands, or truth hands, stuff like that, or Jutto, which means like 10 hits, or what else was there, like what, I'm trying to think of another one. It means like justice hand, same pronunciation, Jutte. There's just millions of variations. Well, not millions, but you could also say Teto, which means iron stick, or Teibo, which means hand stick, and just a lot of things like that. So this is 10 minutes, and that'll be the end of the video.